Now let's talk about XML sitemaps. What is an XML sitemap, why it's important, and how to create one. So what is an XML sitemap? It's basically a page on your website that lists out every page that you want indexed in search engines. So this is an example of an XML sitemap, and this looks a little bit prettier than most XML sitemaps, but as you can see, it lists every page on this website that they want indexed. So basically every page on their website. And there's some priority and images and stuff like that, but that's just additional stuff. As I was saying, usually these aren't as pretty looking. It's usually a big block of code like this. But the important thing to know is it's a list of pages on your website. Now, why do you create this? Well, you actually tell Google and other search engines about your XML sitemap so they can better index your site. So you're helping out Google and other search engines here because they want to go to your website, find all of your pages, and index them. And they have a few ways they can do that. One, they can just go to your website and click on a bunch of different links. So this website, for example, they could visit it and click on all these links and add pages that way. That's one way that they can find web pages on your website. But another great way to do it is with an XML sitemap, where you just say, hey, Google, these are all my pages. Now, once you've created it, how do you tell search engines about it? Well, with Google, we're going back to Google Search Console. I believe I showed this before. So you go to your website that you have set up in Search Console once you've verified that you're the site owner, and there's a sitemap section. And in the sitemap section is where you tell Google where your XML sitemap is located. So sitemap underscore index.xml, which is actually right here. This XML sitemap is a little bit more advanced. It's broken down into sections. You don't necessarily need to get that fancy, but this is the URL. So you tell Google where it's located, because otherwise Google will have no way whatsoever of knowing where your XML sitemap lives. A lot of people name their XML sitemap /sitemap.xml, but you don't necessarily need to do it. As you can see in this one, it's page-sitemap.xml. It really does not matter at all what you name your XML sitemap. You could name it red fuzzy bunnies.xml. It just does not matter what you name it, as long as you tell Google and other search engines where it's located, because that's all they care about is what the XML sitemap contains. So you tell Google about it, and as you can see, they decide which pages they want to pick up. So as you can see here, they decided to pick up all 28 pages. That's actually rare that they index every page that gets submitted. Oftentimes, if you have a website that has 100, 200 pages, don't feel bad if they don't index every single one of them. It's very common. So also images, you can do an image sitemap. This is optional, but you can tell Google about every image on your website. That way they can include it in their image search results. And if you get set up with Bing also has a search console, and they also have a place where you can submit your XML sitemap. So that is how to submit it. The third piece of the puzzle is how you actually create it. And again, it depends on your content management system, but I'll always give you the WordPress way of doing it. They have multiple plugins that are available that will create an XML sitemap for you. One of them is Yoast SEO. Yoast does a ton of other things, but one of the things that pretty much does automatically for you is an XML sitemap. So you can see here, I go to XML sitemaps. This is Yoast, go to General, and then you can see XML sitemap. It's already created for me, and it shows up right here, which is what we've seen before. So this is how you do it in WordPress. And again, WordPress makes a lot of SEO tasks a lot simpler. If you do not have WordPress, there are other ways to do it. If you're on a PC, I know I've used something called G-Site Crawler, which is something that hasn't been updated in like 7 years, I don't think, but it does get the job done because it basically it's almost a timeless tool to create an XML sitemap. I wouldn't, this one isn't ideal for most people because it doesn't automatically update unless you do some advanced settings. The great thing about WordPress and some other content management systems is every time that you write a new post or create a new page, it's going to update this XML sitemap automatically. So this person didn't manually put these in, and if they created a new page, it would start to show up here. That's what you want to have happen in a perfect scenario, is you have an XML sitemap that automatically updates as you build and grow new pages. And that way you can tell Google and other search engines about it. You can manually do it with G-Site Crawler, but there's only a few instances. If you have thousands and thousands of pages and you don't have something like WordPress where you can automatically update it, then you can use something like G-Site Crawler. But for a lot of content management systems, they will have some tool or plugin that you can install that would create an XML sitemap. So I've seen great results for clients. The bigger your website is, the more beneficial it is to have an XML sitemap. A site like this that only has 20 some pages and they're all from links that are easy to find, it really doesn't help them all that much to have an XML sitemap. It is kind of nice that they have the priorities section set, which I mean helps a little bit, I guess. But XML sitemaps really help once your site is larger. So if you have thousands of pages, it can sometimes be hard for Google to find all those pages. But if you have an XML sitemap and you're telling Google, I've seen almost immediately sites have lots and lots more pages indexed directly after they've updated an XML sitemap. So Google definitely takes a strong look at your XML sitemap to find pages that you're looking for. So get an XML sitemap set up if you want to have the most ideal SEO possible. If you have WordPress, it's a no-brainer. It just takes a couple clicks to get one of your own. But if you don't and you only have a little bit of pages, you might be able to get away with it. But for most websites, I recommend getting an XML sitemap set up on your website right away.